I'd like to welcome everyone to the Fire Bureau's annual awards ceremony. We've been holding the ceremony on the Tuesday of Fire Prevention Week for quite a few years, and this is the third year we're here in the Uptown. Before Chief Enterline steps in to give his opening remarks, I'd like to recognize our elected officials from the federal, state, county, and local levels, our partners in police, EMS, and emergency management, in the local business, PA Fire Commissioner's Office, representatives of HAC, the local news media, fireground photographers who always get Chief Enterline's mustache, and most importantly, to our friends and family, welcome. Here's Chief Enterline.
Already? The Chief Sadizan already gave me orders that we got to be out of here in an hour, and I talk a lot, so I narrowed down what I have to say today, but nonetheless, it still has the same meaning. And I want to welcome everybody and thank you for coming out to support our huge family of firefighters here in the Bureau of Fire, as well as recognizing some of those in public works and citizens that did a yeoman's job, both stopping fire and interceding in emergencies. And before I start, as I do every year, as is appropriate, we need to recognize those that come before us, those that have given their lives on the streets of the city as members of the Harrisburg Fire Department, dating back to 1859. So pause with me, if you will, as I read those names, as we do annually, to remember the sacrifice that they and their families gave to this city. Samuel J. Miller, May 13th, 1859. William C. Fisher, March 28th, 1899. Charles F. Diker, April 19th, 1901. Eli K. Hoffman, May 13th, 1908. William Benner, August 15th, 1909. Samuel Wambaugh, November 21st, 1912. William Harris, April 8th, 1914. Bernard E. Goodyear, May 7th, 1927. Wilbur Sadler, May 7th, 1927. Chief Edward Halbert, March 11th, 1935. William Metzger, June 1st, 1941. Donald E. Henry, August 22nd, 1953. Clarence E. Fry, November 16th, 1977. William Corish, June 13th, 1978. And last but not least, Dennis H. DeVoe, March 11th, 2017. May their memories continue to live on in the work that we do here in the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire. I want to recognize those elected officials that come to support us. You know, our job is difficult in the fact that we don't bring a whole lot of money in, right? We cost a lot of money. But that money that we put out to make sure that every one of these men and women of the fire department are trained has to come from somewhere, has to come from the taxpayers and grants and things like that. And without those elected officials fighting for us, fighting hard for us, we wouldn't be able to accomplish the mission that we're out, and that's protecting and serving not only the city of Harrisburg, but regionally here throughout the Harrisburg region, and federally as we deploy many of our members, as you'll see today, throughout the country as members of Pennsylvania Task Force 1. And I really want to say a huge thank you to Congressman Perry. He's been a close friend of the fire department for many years. My very first year as the acting fire chief in some very trying, tumultuous times, Congressman Perry was able to get us some needed money, needed funding from the federal government for training that was much needed in the fire department. It was the first federal grant that we'd received and accepted under my watch, and I appreciate his continued commitment to us here in Harrisburg. And today we're going to recognize just a few of the actions that these members have taken and provided in the last year, both here in Harrisburg, the region, and throughout the country. We're also going to swear in 7 new firefighters that hit the street back in July and have been doing a tremendous job here in Harrisburg. And we're going to swear in 2 new officers that have taken promotions within the Bureau. Each and every day, the citizens of the Capital Region call upon us, the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire, to make a difference in their lives. Members responded to over 2,500 calls already this year, and those calls for service will most likely surpass 3,000 once again for the calendar year of 2025. We do a great job, great deal of serving and protecting, but sadly and unfortunately, we did lose a transient member of our community at the Front Street Homeless Encampment back on January 16th of this year. Alfred Colon was 53, and he suffered significant burns as a result of an accidental fire while he was trying to stay warm in his tent during a pretty significant cold spell here in Harrisburg. And sadly, for our state officials, Pennsylvania consistently ranks in the top 3 states in the United States for fire fatalities. It is totally unacceptable in Fire Prevention Week. And we look back at the 2 incidents that just happened. We killed 10 Pennsylvanians in the last 7 days in Pennsylvania to the ravages of fire. And we have done nothing at the state level to address that and to make sure that the funding and the personnel and the knowledge, skills, and abilities are being built up to be able to protect those citizens that continuously die. Today, I'm once again calling on every resident and caring neighbor, every family member, to check on your families and ensure that they have working smoke alarms. Here in Harrisburg, we install them for free. All you need to do is call our office. Karen will answer the phone, put you on the schedule. We'll come out for free. You'll get to see one of these hunking men or women, and they will install them for free. We're here from the government. We're here to help, but we're not there to get in your mind. I had a little off topic, but I talked with a woman yesterday. She said, "Chief, I need you to install some smoke alarms, but I don't want firemen coming out because I don't want them to see my house." Look, we work in a city. We understand. We want to protect you. We don't care what your house looks like. We want to help protect you at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm also going to call and say that anybody within reach of this broadcast today, I don't care where you live in central Pennsylvania, if you don't have smoke alarms, please call our office and we will do our best to get you in contact with either the local fire department, and if they can't handle the task, we will ensure that it gets done for you. That is how dedicated and how significant the fire death situation is here in Pennsylvania. We are here to help not just Harrisburg, but the region to knock those numbers down. So today we're going to swear in 7 new members and promote Michael Shack to lieutenant and Brian Youngkin to captain. And we're grateful to have these new members join our force, and we're grateful for the dedication that the officers have guiding and leading this fire department on a daily basis. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the families for you lending your loved ones to us. Each and every day we come to work, our goal as management is to send everybody back home in one piece. Unfortunately, in our line of work, sometimes that doesn't happen, as we know, here in Harrisburg as recently as 2017. And just trust that the officers and members of this department are working diligently to make sure that your loved ones come home. They're doing a yeoman's job for some of the less fortunate folks in our community here in Harrisburg and beyond. I also want to thank retired Dave Gilkey. He's our only retired member for this year for his 21 years of service to the city. And in closing, I want to thank the members of the Bureau of Fire who work diligently every day that make our jobs and lives easier here in Harrisburg and throughout central Pennsylvania, and with the great work that you do. And to the elected officials, again, we truly appreciate and we'd love to extend our gratitude for providing the support that we need that is critical to the successful execution of our mission, protecting Mrs. Smith here in Harrisburg and beyond. Thank you.
This goes back a little bit. On the morning of September 28th, 2024, Squad 8 was dispatched to City Island for a cardiac arrest. The squad arrived to find bystanders applying AED pads to an unconscious patient. Members acted quickly to begin CPR and other life-saving measures. One shock was delivered prior to the arrival of EMS, and advanced life-saving measures were begun by EMS upon their arrival, with the Fire Bureau members continuing to assist. The patient regained a pulse and began breathing on their own prior to being transported to the hospital. The patient was discharged 2 days later. For their effort, the CPR Save Award is being awarded to Lieutenant Matthew Kuntz, Firefighter John Pesky, and Firefighter Zachary Baza. none of whom are here. On the evening of October 15th, 2024, Squad 8 was dispatched to the bus stop at 2nd and Market Streets for a cardiac arrest. The squad arrived to find bystanders performing CPR on an unconscious person. Members quickly stepped in and took over CPR while also beginning other life-saving measures. Upon the arrival of EMS, advanced life-saving measures were begun. Members worked for several minutes to help restore a pulse. The patient was then loaded into an ambulance and transported to the hospital. For their effort, the CPR Save Award is being awarded to firefighter John Pesky and firefighter Joseph Kuhn. On the evening of October 19th, 2024, Squad 8 was dispatched to the 2300 block of Derry Street for a cardiac arrest. The first responder to arrive was a Harrisburg police officer who began providing CPR to an unconscious person. EMS arrived next and took over CPR while beginning other life-saving measures. Fire Bureau members arrived and integrated into the efforts. After several minutes, the patient regained a pulse and was then loaded into the ambulance and transported to the hospital alive. For their effort, the CPR Save Award is being awarded to Lieutenant David Schock, firefighter James Grundon, firefighter Kelly Lemons, Harrisburg Police Officer John Grant. In the late morning of December 17th, 2024, Wagon 3 was dispatched to the 500 block of Seneca Street for a cardiac arrest. Wagon 3 arrived to find a bystander performing CPR on an unconscious person. Members quickly took over CPR and attached an AED. One shock was delivered prior to the arrival of EMS. Upon their arrival, advanced life-saving measures were begun. Prior to the ambulance leaving the scene, the patient had regained a pulse and began breathing on their own. For their effort, the CPR Save Award is being awarded to firefighter Jared Day, firefighter Cody Schaffner. On the evening of December 23rd, 2024, Squad 8 was dispatched to the 1400 block of South 13th Street for a cardiac arrest. The squad arrived to find an unconscious person slumped over in a stair lift at the top of a stairwell. Members quickly returned the lift to the bottom of the stairs, moved the person to the floor, and began CPR and other life-saving measures. Those efforts continued after the arrival of EMS. The person was then loaded into an ambulance and transported to the hospital with a pulse. For their effort, the CPR Save Award is being awarded to Lieutenant David Schock, firefighter Zachary Miller, firefighter James Grundon, and firefighter Kelly Lemons.
Hey, I didn't get to write up your own award.
On Christmas morning of 2024, Wagon 3 was dispatched to the 500 block of Graham Street for a cardiac arrest. The wagon arrived to find an unconscious person on the first floor of the home. Members quickly began CPR and other life-saving measures. Members delivered one shock with an AED prior to EMS arriving. After 15 minutes of effort, the patient regained a pulse and was then loaded into the ambulance and transported to the hospital alive. For his effort, the CPR Save Award is being awarded to firefighter Cody Schaffner. Not here. All right, let's start again. In the late evening hours of January 25th, 2025, Wagon 4 was dispatched to the 1600 block of Berry Hill Street for a cardiac arrest. The wagon was called to this because Tower 1 and Squad 8 were busy on another call. Wagon 4 arrived to find EMS just getting ready to start CPR. Members quickly integrated into the efforts by performing chest compressions and providing ventilation to the patient. After less than 20 minutes of work, the patient regained a pulse, was then loaded into the ambulance and transported to the hospital. The patient was later discharged alive. For their efforts, the CPR Save Award is being awarded to firefighter William Junkin, firefighter David Aguayo, firefighter Thomas Cucchiera.
Oh, you want me to?
Cucchiera?
Appreciate it.
In the early morning hours of February 18th, 2025, units were dispatched to the 1300 block of Walnut Street for a basement fire. At the time of the dispatch, the outside air temperature was 17 degrees. Tower 1 arrived first and reported heavy smoke coming from a 3-story row home. As they were parking, a person was seen standing on the front porch roof yelling for help. One member from Tower 1 quickly deployed a ground ladder to the porch roof, climbed up, and assisted the person down to safety. The fire eventually went to 2 alarms and spread to 2 other homes before it was fully extinguished. For his individual effort, the Award of Merit is being awarded to firefighter Justin Barnes. On the morning of April 20th, 2025, Wagon 3 was dispatched to the 1900 block of North 6th Street for a cardiac arrest. The wagon arrived to find an unconscious person laying in bed. Members quickly moved her to the floor after finding a weak pulse. CPR and other life-saving measures were begun, which included delivering one shock with an AED. Efforts continued after the arrival of EMS. The patient regained a normal pulse before being loaded into the ambulance and transported to the hospital. For their effort, the CPR Save Award is being awarded to firefighter Brendan Booz, firefighter Joshua Jones, and firefighter Vincent Sikovic. Jones? On the afternoon of April 20th, 2025, units were dispatched to the area of the Dock Street Dam on the Susquehanna River for 2 kayakers who had gone over the dam. 3 fishermen who witnessed the kayakers go over the dam reeled in their lines and drove their boat over to the southern side of the dam to assist. While one person was driving the boat, the others prepared makeshift rescue equipment by tying anchor lines to seat cushions from their boat. The fishermen were able to throw the rescue line to the kayakers and pull them out of the dam to safety. Fire Bureau rescue boats arrived and deployed to the same area, transferring the kayakers to our boats and delivering them to shore. The kayakers were well enough to refuse medical treatment, and they walked away uninjured. For their quick and decisive actions, the Citizens Commendation Award is being awarded to Mr. Craig Stout, Mr. Christian Stout, and Mr. Colton Stout. In the afternoon of April 24th, 2025, Wagon 3 was dispatched to the 1600 block of Berry Hill Street for a cardiac arrest. The wagon from here in the Uptown was dispatched because all other units were busy working at a building fire. The wagon arrived to find EMS already performing CPR and other life-saving measures. Members quickly integrated into the efforts by cycling through several rounds of chest compressions. The patient regained a pulse and was then loaded into the ambulance and transported to the hospital by EMS. For their effort, the CPR Save Award is being awarded to firefighter Shakur Hakeem El, firefighter Bobby Jones, and firefighter Vincent Sikovic.
Thanks.
In the late morning of May 12, 2025, the on-duty battalion chief was contacted with a request for Rescue 1 to respond to Upper Allen Township, Cumberland County, for a high-angle rescue. A worker experienced a medical emergency while working on the scaffolding of a water tower. On-duty members were organized, and a rescue squad responded with Rescue 1. Upon arriving, members were tasked with providing a backup team for the initial rescue team and develop a backup plan to bring the patient down from the scaffolding. Fortunately, none of the backups were required, and the patient was successfully brought down to awaiting EMS. For their efforts, the Regional Rescue Deployment Award is being awarded to Lieutenant Justin Zimmerman, Lieutenant Michael Schock, firefighter Zachary Miller, firefighter Nathan Martin, firefighter Michael Bruch, firefighter Gregory McDonald, and firefighter Samuel Welk. In the early morning hours of June 26, 2025, units were dispatched to the South Bridge on Interstate 83 for a vehicle accident with entrapment. While units were responding, Dauphin County dispatchers advised that the vehicle with the person trapped was now reported to be on fire. Prior to the arrival of the first unit, bystanders had emptied 2 fire extinguishers trying to put out the fire. It didn't go out. The squad arrived to find a pickup truck with an engine compartment on fire extending into the passenger compartment, and the driver was trapped inside by the steering wheel being pinned against his legs. Immediately upon arriving, squad members split up and worked simultaneously to both extinguish the fire and extricate the patient. The fire was extinguished in quick order, but the steering wheel proved to be more difficult, eventually requiring it to be cut just to free the driver's legs. The driver suffered multiple facial injuries and third-degree burns on 15% of his body. The entire operation, from dispatch to the driver being freed, was 16 minutes. For their individual efforts, the Award of Merit is being awarded to Lieutenant David Schock and firefighter Kelly Lemons. He didn't give us any other update, Mr. Lemons.
Thank you, Chief.
On that same incident, for their joint efforts in providing patient care and successfully extricating the driver from the vehicle, the Distinguished Unit Citation is being awarded to Captain Brian Yonkin, firefighter Zachary Miller, firefighter Michael Bruch, firefighter Benjamin Page, firefighter Christopher Kalman, firefighter Brent Hill, firefighter Glenn Rudensky, firefighter Justin Barnes, and firefighter Dylan Landau. Mr. Page. Mr. Callen. Mr. Barnes. In the late afternoon of June 30th, 2025, units were dispatched to the Susquehanna River for reports of a person drowning. Just as units went responding, a severe thunderstorm entered the area. The on-duty battalion chief arrived in the area first and identified that a person was in the water and directed boats to deploy from City Island. The first boat to deploy was able to quickly maneuver downriver and rescue the person, while the second boat deployed as a backup. The entire operation, from dispatch to the person being rescued, was 10 minutes. For their efforts, the Distinguished Unit Citation is being awarded to Captain Jeremy Saul, Lieutenant Justin Zimmerman, Lieutenant Michael Schock, firefighter Billy Bob Holtzman, firefighter Michael Kaiser, firefighter Gregory McDonald, firefighter Braden Byers, firefighter Cody Durham, firefighter Caleb Schreiner, and firefighter Orrin Kaufman.
Well done, Zim.
Mr. Byers. Mr. Durham. Mr. Schreiner.
Chief.
Mr. Kaufman. In the late evening of July 2nd, 2025, Squad 8 was dispatched to Interstate 283 in Swadera Township to assist with a vehicle down an embankment. The squad arrived to find that the first due personnel had already made access to the vehicle to begin patient care. The squad members immediately went to work and assembled a twin tension rope system to lower a Stokes basket and rescuers down to the victim, and then converted it into a 3-to-1 haul system to haul the victim and the rescuers back up the embankment. For their efforts, the Distinguished Unit Citation is being awarded to Lieutenant David Schock, firefighter Justin Barnes, firefighter Kelly Lemons, and volunteer firefighter Kevin Craver.
Whoa, hey, easy with out there, Chief.
Over the course of the last several years, one member of the Fire Bureau has dedicated some of his personal time to work with local schools to introduce young students to the career opportunities available to them in the fire service, something that many students don't even know exist. These interactions and the relationships that have formed are a demonstration of the Fire Bureau's core value of ownership. Everyone has a personal and professional responsibility to positively represent the Fire Bureau. For his dedication and service, the Reverend Dennis E. Snyder Customer Service Award is being awarded to firefighter Kelly Lemons. Yeah. In the early morning of August 26, 2025, 3 sanitation workers were on their route collecting trash when they noticed a fire around an air conditioning unit on the 3rd floor of a residence in the 1200 block of Bailey Street. The 3 members worked as a team to simultaneously call 911 to report the fire and alert the residents and evacuate them to safety. Fire Bureau units arrived and quickly extinguished the fire, which was still in its early stages, thanks to the quick actions of these 3 people. For their quick and decisive actions, the Distinguished Unit Citation is being awarded to Mr. Taraji Mills, Mr. Jeffrey Hatcher, and Mr. Jeru Mundy. Less than a minute after shift change on the morning of September 20th, 2025, units were dispatched to the 100 block of Horner Street for a building fire. That address is part of a row home that is 14 houses long, and it's located directly behind Station 2. Units were just clearing a fire alarm at a different location when this call came in, so they were going to be a little delayed. One member realized this situation and responded on foot to the reported address. Upon arriving, the member radioed an update, helped neighbors evacuate their homes, and kept the fire isolated by closing doors on the home that was on fire. These actions undoubtedly kept the fire from spreading to the 13 other homes in that row. For his initiative and decisive actions, the award for merit is being awarded to firefighter William Junkin. At that same fire, when units finally arrived, it was discovered that 3 people had escaped the fire onto a rear porch roof. Members from both truck companies were directed to rescue those 3 people, while other members deployed hoses and began extinguishing the fire. The truck company members deployed ground ladders to the rear porch roof and assisted the 2 adults and 1 child down to safety. For their joint efforts, the Distinguished Unit Citation is being awarded to firefighter Shane Comrade, firefighter Billy Bob Holtzman, firefighter Braden Byers, and firefighter Justin Cahill. Now it's time to recognize those members who have provided service outside the Commonwealth. The Fire Bureau has an award named the National Service and Deployment Commendation, and it is awarded to those members who respond as part of Pennsylvania Task Force 1, one of the 28 federal urban search and rescue teams across the United States. On September 25th, 2024, selected resources from Pennsylvania Task Force 1 were requested to assist FEMA by staffing positions in the National Response Coordination Center in Washington, D.C., while several urban search and rescue teams were on the ground assisting state and local resources with Hurricane Helene. This member worked in the NRCC for 13 days until he was released. For his effort, the National Service and Deployment Commendation is being awarded to Lieutenant Joshua Hall. You might as well just keep on walking. On September 26, 2024, Pennsylvania Task Force 1 was activated and directed to deploy to the Asheville, North Carolina area to assist with search and rescue operations as a result of Hurricane Helene. Members assisted state and local agencies as needed, and on October 9th, the team was upstaffed, which sent an additional 3 members from the Fire Bureau, including Lieutenant Hall. Members worked until they were demobilized 10 days later. For their effort, the National Service and Deployment Commendation is being awarded to Battalion Chief Jason Lloyd, Lieutenant William Skinner, Lieutenant Justin Zimmerman, Lieutenant Michael Schock, Firefighter Joshua Winters, Firefighter Zachary Miller, Firefighter Nathan Martin, Firefighter Brian Riddle, Firefighter Benjamin Page, and Firefighter Pablo Pasalacqua.
Thank you.
On April 4th, 2025, Pennsylvania Task Force 1 was activated and directed to deploy to Kentucky to assist with search and rescue operations as a result of a significant weather event that had impacted Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Arkansas. Members assisted state and local agencies as needed for 11 days before they demobilized and returned back to PA. For their effort, the National Service and Deployment Commendation is being awarded to Lieutenant Matthew Kuntz, Lieutenant Justin Zimmerman, Lieutenant Michael Schock, Firefighter Joshua Winters, Firefighter Zachary Miller, and Firefighter Pablo Pasalacqua. On July 8th, 2025, selected resources from Pennsylvania Task Force 1 were requested to assist FEMA by staffing positions in the National Response Coordination Center in Washington, D.C., while state and local resources were on the ground in Texas conducting search and rescue operations as a result of significant flash flooding. This member worked in the NRCC for 10 days before he was released and returned home. For his effort, the National Service and Deployment Commendation is being awarded to Lieutenant Joshua Hall.
Thanks, Chief. Thank you. Should be more important members now.
Military ones should be the 3 front ones. Yeah. As part of our continued efforts to recognize those members who have served our country in the armed forces, the Fire Bureau issues a ribbon displaying an American flag to all veterans. This ribbon is worn in the Class A uniform, along with the other medals and commendations they earn. This year, we have 3 new members to recognize for military service: Firefighter Orrin Kaufman, Firefighter Brandon Zettelmoyer, and Firefighter Dylan Copeland. Each year, the Fire Bureau recognizes members who reach certain career milestones in 5-year increments. This year, we have quite a few members we'd like to recognize. For 35 years of service, firefighter Scott Young and Deputy Chief Michael Souter. For 30 years of service, firefighter Patrick Fuller. For 25 years of service, Deputy Chief Floyd Wise and Fire Chief Brian Enterline. For 20 years of service, Deputy Chief Glenn Sadison, Battalion Chief Charles Abrell, Firefighter Brendan Booz, Firefighter Hadiel Bay, Captain Aldo Morelli, and Firefighter Eric Nowin. Apologies.
That is the magic number. There you are. Thank you. Folks, how you do?
What's up, man?
My apologies. For 10 years of service, Firefighter Thomas Cucchiera, Firefighter Lieutenant Michael Schock, Firefighter Kyle Paul, and Firefighter Pablo Pasalacqua. And for 5 years of service, Firefighter Timothy Walcott, Firefighter Austin Howard, Firefighter Nathaniel Barbalush, Firefighter Braden Byers, Firefighter Jared Day, Firefighter Justin Barnes, Firefighter Cody Durham, and Firefighter Joseph Kuhn.
Kept me on long enough, right?
Over the past year, we've had one member who is retired, and we would like to recognize him for his dedication and service to the city. Firefighter David Gilkey, with 21 years of service. Before we do any swearing in of members and promotees, I'd like to invite the mayor up for some remarks.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to stand before you today, and this is an important day, a day that marks new beginnings, well-earned recognition, and certainly a moment of pride and reflection for the entire city of Harrisburg. We gather to swear in new hires, to celebrate the promotions of Captain Brian Youngkin and Lieutenant Michael Schock, and to recognize 63 individuals whose actions rose above and beyond in service to our city. These milestones are more than a ceremony. They represent a department that continues to grow stronger, more capable, and more committed with every passing year. To Chief Brian Enterline, Senior Deputy Chief Michael Souter, and Deputy Chiefs Glenn Sadison and Floyd Wise, I extend my gratitude. Your leadership, professionalism, and vision have shaped this department and inspired the next generation of public servants gathered here today. To our newest members, welcome. Today, you do not simply join a department, you join a family. You are answering a call that demands courage, compassion, and certainly discipline. You will stand with residents on some of the hardest days of their lives. And because of you, those days will not end in tragedy. To Captain Youngkin and Lieutenant Shack, your promotions are more than a title. They are a reflection of years of service, sound judgment, and leadership. We trust you to set the tone for those who follow in your footsteps, and we know you will lead with strength and wisdom. To the 63 recipients of today's awards, you embody what it means to serve with honor. Whether pulling a neighbor to safety, containing a dangerous blaze, performing CPR, or answering a high-stress medical call, you met the moment with training, instinct, and certainly with a lot of heart. You are heroes in every sense of the word. This past year has tested the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire, and time and again, you have risen to the challenge. When the unthinkable happened, you were there. Earlier this year, following the devastating arson at the governor's mansion, Governor Shapiro and the First Family came to this very station, not for cameras, not for headlines, but to thank you personally. That visit was a powerful reminder that your work is seen, your work is valued and respected at the highest levels of our Commonwealth. Your service extends far beyond emergency calls. Through CPR trainings, school visits, and neighborhood events, you continue to build bridges of trust. You inspire our children, engage our residents, and strengthen the bonds that keep the city of Harrisburg safe. You also honor the past while building for the future. When firefighter Jason Lloyd restored the historic Penn Street Firehouse, he did more than renovate a building. He preserved a piece of Harrisburg's legacy for generations to come. That is not something that can be taught. That is lived pride for the Bureau of Fire Department. To the families who are with us today, thank you. We know the sacrifices you make, the missed dinners, the long nights of worry, and the moments when the phone rings at an hour no family wants to hear. Your strength and support make this work possible, and today we honor you as well. As mayor, my commitment is clear: to support the Bureau of Fire with the resources, the tools, the training, and equipment you need to serve safely and effectively. That commitment includes your physical health, your mental well-being, and certainly your long-term security. Today is a celebration of beginnings, milestones, and the quiet work that too often goes unseen. Let us take this moment to lift one another up, to express gratitude, and to remember why we do this work: for the people of Harrisburg. To our recruits, welcome. Lead with purpose. To our promotees, embrace your new roles with the grit and determination that first brought you here to the city of Harrisburg. To our awardees, thank you for showing us what service looks like at its finest. And to every member of this department, your city sees you, values you, and stands proudly beside you, along with me as the mayor of the city of Harrisburg. Thank you, and may you always return home safe.
I'd like to invite Mayor Rooms back up here. Apologies. along with Captain Brian Yonkin, Lieutenant Michael Schock, firefighter Orrin Kaufman, firefighter Brandon Zettelmoyer, firefighter Dylan Copeland, firefighter Bailey Seeger, firefighter Austin Cole, firefighter John Bingaman, and firefighter Weston Graybill. After Mayor Williams swears them in, friends and family are welcome to come up and pin their badges.
I think they're good. I, they can't hear you.
Brandon Zettelmoyer.
I know that's right.
Warren Kaufman.
Do solemnly swear that I will uphold and support the Constitution of the United States of America
The Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth.
and that I will,
And I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties of my office
discharge the duties of my office
as a Harrisburg firefighter
as a Harrisburg firefighter
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Whoever's going to be pinning, please come up. Congratulations, Ben. Just over an hour. This concludes our ceremony.